Welcome back to the series, how you can sell millions of dollars worth of shit without ever opening your mouth. Copywriting Secrets. But before we get into the class, make sure you join Funnel Hacker Pro. This is my private Facebook group. A lot of people would pay for most of the information that I put in this group. That's Funnel Hacker Pro. Let's go. If you are brand new to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Hit that bell to make sure you get notifications when I upload videos. I am on an everyday schedule right now, so you don't want to miss what I have to give up. Right now, we are right in the middle of a 3 or a 4-part series on exactly what you need to do to start your copywriting career. So go ahead and click the thumbs up. If you like the video, go ahead and do it right now because you may forget about it at the end, or if you don't like it, you can always take it back. So moving along here, yesterday we covered how you can, first of all, you need to understand what product you want to sell, what niche you want to get into, what your ideal customer or your prospect looks like, and we want to dig deep to find out what it is that they really want. You might be saying to yourself, Sonny, is it time to write that headline? Headlines are coming, but before you do, what I want you to do again is more research. Now remember, research was the first thing. Research was the first thing you had to do in order to get this thing started, and now you're going to do more research. Research is very important, and the reason why I'm telling you that is because a lot of times when I start off with my copy, Ryan Dice said this, and so has Perry Belcher. They said when you start with proof. And that doesn't always mean the type of proof you think. I always thought it meant showing proof that, people were using my product, like social proof and customers and testimonials. If you have those things, that is proof. But you also, if you don't have those things, you can use proof such as doctors, such as celebrities. And so let me show you what I'm talking about. So I looked up the keto diet. The first thing you want to do if you're talking about something medical or anything is search for journals. Now, this is a website called deepdive.com, and they have all medical journals, scientific journals, college papers that were written up, and studies that have been done. So I searched for the keto diet because that keto diet is really big. It's low in carbohydrates and high in fat, from what I'm understanding. And there's a dude named Dave Asprey that we'll talk about that did something called bulletproof coffee. And he's a big marketer, right? But I wanted to find out, is there someone that supports the bulletproof coffee? So I found what this diet does for you. And here's a 2-year clinical trial. I don't know what's said about it or whatever. Well, here it says results. Somebody has some results with starvation, so I don't know. That's in 1921, though, right? So, but I don't know exactly what this says. But the point of this is that I wanted you to come here so you can understand that you could have some type of scientific proof to back up whatever it is you're trying to sell. The next thing is celebrities. I just ran celebrity says drinks bullet coffee. And here it is, right? You have all these celebrities that talked about they drank bulletproof coffee for a month, or it's really, you see right here, this Harry Styles says that, he stays slim, and this is how right? Kourtney Kardashian, can't get any better than that. She starts her day by drinking bulletproof coffee. Imagine what you have there. You have an endorsement from the Kardashians sitting right there in order to push your product, right? This is proof. You don't always have to necessarily be using, I don't know if you guys remember, but Dr. Oz as a matter of fact, people were starting to get sued because they used his name and videos on everything. I think it hurt his career because everybody was, Dr. Oz says this, Dr. Oz says that, Dr. Oz endorses this, and they all threw his names and threw his images on marketing materials, and it really kind of fucked up the industry. But so you want to get permission to do this if you can, but when you're using a public person like Kourtney Kardashian and she says it out of her own mouth, you can say that Kourtney Kardashian and show the article itself, or the Instagram post or whatever she has going on. You can actually show that article, and you don't have to like use her image without her permission because this public domain. So using things like this, finding this and throwing all this inside of a box, right? So then I went and looked up Dave Asprey to get a little information, and just look down here. Here's what I want. Dr. Frank Lipman and Dr. Andrew Weil believe that when combined with a balanced diet, drinking buttered coffee could be healthy and might give you a bit more energy than your everyday cup. Now, that's not the best endorsement ever, but it is an endorsement, and that's important. So now what I would do was dig more into this. Who's another doctor that has backed this up, right? Who has, because here, now this is the guy, he expects to live to the age of 180, right? He spent at least $1 million hacking his own biology. I think this is the guy that does, he does a bunch of supplements, and he's doing a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. He's way into it. He's going to live to 180. That's pretty good, but that's not going to be good enough if this was you writing something to sell his product. But you see, this physicians is important. If you can get an image of these people, get the article where they're talking about that they believe that that is proof. These are doctors that may be quacks or not, it doesn't matter. But here's 2 doctors that say that this diet and drinking that bulletproof coffee works. Then we have celebrities that say that it works. And now we have papers to understand exactly how it works. Like when you're looking at the ketogenic diet, that's what this bulletproof coffee is. Now we can talk scientifically about how it works, why it works, and we can quote the paper in which we found the information. Then you go into social proof saying Kim Kardashian or whoever it was uses it as well, and this doctor says that they use it. And then you want to kind of go into the New York Times said blah, blah, blah. Jimmy Fallon, blah, blah, blah. Now you can see your sales page starting to come together. So now that you've done all this homework, you're going to get a headline out of this, right? So if you come back over here and we're talking about Jimmy Fallon, right? Find it. So amazing. So talk show host or middle-aged talk show host or whatever. So you could say middle-aged talk show host reveals his secret diet trick or whatever, right? And that's kind of like a headline you would want to play with, but that's the start of your headline to grab their attention, right? So we want to know who the talk show host is. This is curiosity based. Who is the popular talk show host? What is his secret diet? That's going to catch their attention. Eugene Schwartz said in his book, Breakthrough Advertising, that the number one reason for the headline is to make them read the next line, right? So that'll make them read the next line. Now, the next thing that you would want to do is what you want to call your lead in. So now that we have all this information, we've put together a decent headline, right? Now you should put together 3 or 4 of these headlines, but I just gave you one really quickly. The next thing you want to do is say, if you ever wanted to know how to lose weight without having to starve yourself, then this is the letter for you. Read every single word of this letter if this is what you want, right? That's your lead in. Now, after that lead in, the next thing we're going to have to do is we need to address skeptics. How do we address the skeptics? Because we read in Amazon all the reviews and what they said about it. This doesn't work because of blah, right? This doesn't work because of blah. This is full of cholesterol. This isn't going to work, right? So now we address that skepticism. What you want to do is now, I believe it was Claude Hopkins that says that you need to address and start the conversation as it's happening in your prospect's mind. So what you want to do is that prospects are thinking, hey man, this isn't going to work, and these are the reasons why. So before you get into this sales letter, that's the next thing you want to address. And you want to say something, I'm going to give you word for word right now, but hey man, before we get started, what I want to let you know is if you thought this was a fly-by-night diet, if you think this is a fad diet, if you think that I'm going to tell you to eat a bunch of fatty stuff and you never have to do any exercise, then you should stop reading this letter right now. This is not a get rich quick or lose weight quick without having to do any work. You will have to do some type of exercise, and you're going to have to do some type of work in order for this to work for you. Now, obviously, diets aren't all one size fits all, and this may or may not be for you, but I can promise you this, that if you do the work and give it 100%, you will see some types of results. If you qualify and you believe in that and you are willing to do some type of work, then continue to read the rest of this letter word for word. And that's what you want to do. Basically, and that was like sloppy, but what I'm trying to get you to see is that now you can see your sales letter coming together because you've done your research. Now, we're going to talk more about the pieces of the actual sales letter as we go along in part number 3. But here's where you're going to do your research. And now you can see how important research is, number 1. Number 2, you can see how you don't even have to try to figure out what to say if you've done all of your research. Now, let me explain something to you. This is just 4 or 5 pages of some stuff that I found on the internet really quickly. You need to do a deep dive research. And I'm talking about, I'll give you a story really quickly. I've been in phone rooms and in and out of telemarketing all my life. And I was really known for being able to get into a product and talk to people as how they talked. I could speak their language about anything, financial products, if it was stocks and bonds or penny stocks, or if it was, I remember I had a job, this was, probably 30 years ago, I had a job where actually, before there was internet, we used to call out to people that had farms in rural areas, and they didn't have any like Sears, or they didn't have any auto parts stores. And I used to sell them farm equipment and small hand tools and air hoses and air compressors and things like that over the phone. And I talked just like a farmer, and I understood all their language. And how did I do that? Because I went and studied my ass off about farming and small tools around farming, and I found out what type of farmers I was talking to, and then I just listened to them talk every time I called, and then I got good at it. And with the financial stuff, I studied it for 3 months. I deep dived in it. I was the financial guy. I was a stockbroker in my mind. And if I can talk like them, and I can say the same, use the same words and use the same phrases and the basically the industry jargon, you're going to win. The same thing goes for whatever your product is here. So let's just say your product was bulletproof coffee. You need to find out everything you possibly can find out about bulletproof coffee. What people say about it. Do they say it's a scam? Read it. Do they say it works? Read it. If it's inconclusive, read it. If doctors have talked about it, read it. Do it. Do the diet yourself. Taste it and see what it tastes like. Is it any good? Is it nasty? Was it enjoyable for you? If it wasn't enjoyable for you, then it wasn't going to be enjoyable for a whole bunch of other people. Or maybe it's an acquired taste, and you wouldn't know to say that unless you tried it yourself. Then get on the phone with people. Talk about it. Go to the Bulletproof Coffee websites and their message boards. Go to a meetup. Be around the people. Go around the fanatics and dig deep into it. So this isn't a quick thing that you're going to get. If you really want to make some money, if you really want to get into this copywriting thing, it's going to take you a few weeks to really get it into your system. Once it's ingrained in your system and you're sleeping and you're dreaming about it, and when you wake up, you're talking about it. When you get to that point right there, when you sleep and you dream and you're thinking about bulletproof coffee because you've studied on it so much, you're going to be ready at that point. And that is part number 2 right here, man. If you enjoyed this video, man, click the thumbs up button. Tell a friend, man, if you know somebody that wants to learn about copywriting and marketing and making money online, share this video with them, man. Remember, whatever you do, when you do jump into copywriting, you're going to have to do it every day, man. And there should be no excuses, no explanations. Go get it done.